telling you that because you started using social security numbers. Again, the law clearly states that unless the defendant can prove he's not a citizen of the United States, the IRS has a right to determine a tax liability. Yeah, they do. So, however many have reported that once a letter showing proof of redemption of lawful money is sent, it's often the last time one hears from the agency. That's what we have always dealt with. So it's all about conditional acceptance. I'm not going to go too deep into this. This is an excerpt from the book called Augustus Blackstone, The Errant Sovereign's Handbook. Some pieces of it are good. Other pieces of it, of course, are muddied with, unfortunately, the sovereign citizen movement. But the one piece that does work is conditional acceptance. And we've taken that excerpt from the book. We ask that you read it. All it has to do with is responding immediately, usually within 72 hours of a receipt of letter. And all we're going to reply with is saying, hey, I just received your letter. I must admit, I'm perplexed. Says I'm obligated. I'm unaware of that obligation, which compels me to do this. I'm not aware of any involuntary requirement either. However, I could be mistaken, right? So we're not fighting them. This isn't taking the position of someone who is a tax protester, as so many people have fears of going to jail. The only people that go to jail are tax protesters. Again, we are not tax protesters because we're saying, I could be mistaken. I don't want to be indebted to anyone, and I want to resolve the issues. But since I'm unaware, prudence dictates that I verify particular claims. Once it's verified, validated, and it appears in order, I'll tender payment without question or hesitation. So for that purpose, all I require is these 6 things. These 6 things they can't actually give to you, and if they did start giving certain things to you, like this and this, oh, brother, are they in some deep doo-doo, because the IRS is what's known as a CYA, cover your ass organization. They're not going to put their neck out on the line for one individual who's asking a question about their tax liability, okay? They're going to send you off pre-printed, predetermined letters, and that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get any one of these things. And since you didn't get these things back, are they really working with you? Because, again, we're not arguing. We're saying, look, we just want to verify it. Once we verify it and it's validated, absolutely, we're going to give you the money without question, without hesitation. Just give us these things, please. And all of these things are required by law. So, again, a lot of people don't ask for these types of things, but they have a requirement to do this when asked. So it's all about asserting your rights. But so many people don't do that because they get fearful that the IRS is going to take everything. They're going to, knock on my door. They're going to put me in jail. They're going to sue me. They're going to put me in front of a jury of my peers and convict me. No. We're not tax protesters. We're verifying information when it's been verified, which it never has been, because it's too much work in a cover-your-ass organization. It's putting the neck on the chopping block, as they say. They're not going to send these things. So therefore, how could you be verified that this wasn't potentially some sort of scam? There's millions of scams and billions of dollars that are lost every year due to IRS scams. People posing as the IRS and saying, send me $10,000. And that it's true. That happens all the time, every day. So we're just looking for verification. Is that so much to ask? Not really, because it's required, as you see, by law. We're not asking for anything that's above and beyond the requirements of law. So once they do that, then we pay. Does that sound like someone who's arguing, who's protesting a tax? I want to pay you. Just let me know that this is real? No. That's what you would expect from any good citizen, any good person who pays their bills. They're just saying, hey, I see that this is the bill. It looks like it's a bit more than usual. Can I just verify how we got to this amount? Can you give me this information of why I owe this? Once I have that, cool, I'll send payment. So again, when we put in, by the way, a abatement, which is we're looking for something where they assessed a frivolous penalty against us, we're going to file a Form 843, a claim for refund and request for abatement. So you're going to fill this in just like you would the thing above. You will need to use your social here, right? Because that's how they have your information. Once you send this in, you're also going to send in, hey, confidential, this is redeemed in lawful money, and you're going to send a few checks, and it's going to look like this. So have this written at the top, special deposit, redeemed in lawful money per 12 U.S.C. 411. Front and back scans, make it confidential. Then at the bottom, what does 12 U.S.C. 411 say? Well, it says, Federal Reserve notes to be issued at the discretion of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System for the purpose of making advances to Federal Reserve banks, all right, through the Federal Reserve agents as hereinafter set forth, and for no other purpose are authorized. The said note shall be obligations of the United States. And if you remember lawful money, right, any obligations or private credit on the United States is not taxable, and shall be receivable by all national and member banks and Federal Reserve banks for all taxes, customs, and other public dues. They shall be redeemed in lawful money on demand at the Treasury Department of the United States in the city of Washington, District of Columbia, or at any Federal Reserve bank. Okay? So what does that mean? Again, you get to claim what you want. Do you want to use the private credit, the Federal Reserve note on the left side, with that seal that's, not colored? Or do you want the green one? And sometimes they're red, depending on what year they were printed. The seal on the right, which is the United States Treasury, the public credit of the United States, which when used is tax non-obligated or even tax exempt. Whichever you want to choose it, it basically says there is no taxable event because you're using our money, not someone else's money that isn't the United States, like the Federal Reserve is. Again, Federal Reserve is a private bank. The Treasury Department of the United States is the actual government's position and money printing service, but they don't print money anymore. Only the Federal Reserve is allowed to do that now. So again, this is why everything is. And the reason they do that is because the Treasury Department doesn't need to print, because they put both seals on the same dollar, and you get to choose, do you want to use it as private credit with a tax event, or do you want to use it as public credit with a non-tax